So what are those big changes? You know what they are. Globalization of economic activity and the dramatic change in cross-border, the size of cross-border activity and the direction of global activity. I'll talk more about that in a second. The rise of information technology. So my first job was in the computer room at Commonwealth Edison Company, the electric company in Chicago. It was a gigantic room, maybe as big as this entire first floor of the ballroom, filled with giant machines with tape drives spitting out perforated pieces of paper, and none of it had more power than I have in my pocket or some of you have on top of your desk. And this is just the beginning of what everybody says is going to be an information revolution that's going to reshape our world, is reshaping our world. The last is a little academic sounding, but I'm an academic, so therefore I get to pay to talk this way. I call it the blurring together of traditional 19th century categories of organization and thought. What does that mean? It simply means that we used to think of things as being very distinct, like the legal profession as being very distinct from something else called business or politics, or we used to think that the way in which categories of knowledge, like in your academic discipline, so you'd study, sociology, which was different than history, which was different than political science. Or we used to think there was a huge difference between public and private. It's not that we don't think these things matter anymore. It's just that nobody thinks that they're as sharp-edged, as sealed off from each other as they used to be. When I first started teaching in 1986, I went to endless conferences called Law, Is It a Business or Is It a Profession? It was probably a dumb question in 1986, but nobody would even ask that question today because it's so clearly both. Right? It's a very competitive business, but it's a certain kind of business that is a business of a profession. So the world is blurring in terms of the lines we used to use to make sense of it.